AMA building. Now it's AMA, but also about the first 12, 13 floors on the riverside are a luxury Langham hotel opened last year. Trump International Hotel and Tower is Chicago's second tallest building, and it was designed by Adrian Smith of SOM, who also designed the world's tallest. This used about 720 million pounds of concrete.
Wow.
It's a concrete core and outrigger construction, and so used a lot of that stuff. And it finished about 2009. Adrian Smith probably, in one word, would call himself a contextualist. The Burj Khalifa is like a desert flower out there. This, as you look up the trunk, those setbacks correspond to the roof lines of the neighboring, very prestigious neighbors, Wrigley, IBM, Marina City, roof lines as you go up. And what you can't see from here, on the very top of trunk, is about a 200-foot spire. You'll see it when we get out to the lake. But Donald didn't want to put that spire up there because, hey, spires don't make money. Our Mayor Daley wanted the building to have that added height and distinction and flourish. So our Mayor Daley told the Donald, "You're spired." Made a headline in the paper. True story. I didn't make it up. It's got the spire up there. It's good to be the king. Between the Wrigley and Tribune with the yellow onion dome, that's Hotel Intercontinental today on your left, but originally that was the Medina Athletic Club with a lot of sporting amenities designed by Walter Alschlager in 1929. Here's something to do when you get off the boat though. Walk around the base of the Tribune Tower over here on the left. Embedded in the base are fragments from over 100 different structures from all over the world. They're all labeled. Little piece of the Taj Mahal, Great Wall of China, Westminster Abbey, the Alamo, the White House, they're all labeled. I think most of them are acquired legally, too. I hope. I can't verify that. But anyway. And then around the arched entryway of the Tribune Tower are carved stone figures from Aesop's fables. One that looks like Robin Hood, another looks like a howling dog, playful allusions to the architects Hood and Howells, who won the competition and designed that building.
Wow, look at that building.
University of Chicago Bleacher Center, where the areas jut out on this west elevation. Those are the classrooms for their downtown continuing studies and graduate business programs and such. No windows in the classrooms either, so there are no distractions for those serious students, and better for audiovisual presentation too. Student lounges are very glassy, and Bleacher was designed by Dirk Lohan, who is Mies van der Rohe's grandson, so he had architecture in his blood in the 90s. Look up and catch the NBC Peacock on the NBC Tower. This is what we call Eco Deco, kind of, again, a reimagining of the Art Deco styling of the 1920s in a postmodern take on it. Adrian Smith, still at SOM, also designed that. And about 2/3 of the way up, those elbow-shaped elements, those are structural flying buttresses, and he's incorporated them to pay homage to the decorative flying buttresses that are on the neighboring Tribune Tower. Buildings talk to each other, and they all talk to me. You probably think I'm crazy, but I'm in love with this town. My kind of town. On the left here, the Hotel Sheraton, I don't know if you remember, on the North Branch, we passed by Kingsbury Plaza and Park Place, and they both had a curvy corner on them. Curvy corner here. This is how we remember their architects, by their signature design elements. Solomon Cordwell Benz.
Look how tall this hotel is. And the building behind it.
Lovely exterior concrete work meant to look like carved stone. Fourth largest hotel and the biggest ballroom, I think. Up ahead is the Centennial Fountain.
I think it starts at like 50.
Dirk Lohan, Mies van der Rohe's grandson, designed the fountain. Every hour on the top of the hour, it shoots an arc of water across the river. And Captain George, of course, always times our ride, so you don't get a shower. You'll see the water cannon at the water's edge. Behind the fountain, though, is Riverview Residences, and in contrast to the parking pedestal directly on your left here, where you can plainly see that's a parking pedestal, but the views are up above it where the apartments are. Riverview Residences, a design by DeStefano Partners, totally camouflage the parking facilities by wrapping these lovely townhomes. What that also accomplishes, it brings the whole development down to a more neighborly, pedestrian-friendly scale along the Riverwalk here too. And it always reminds me of the Statue of Liberty up at the top for some reason. Yeah. Well, and I tell people, when you're in Chicago, basically I say you are in a mecca for modern architecture. So I also like to think we've got a representative work from all the big hitters in the field. And so far, we don't have a Santiago Calatrava in Chicago, but we almost do. We've got the underpinnings for one anyway. And the Chicago Spire was a project started by an Irish developer, Garrett Keller, several years ago now, and they pre-sold about 30% of the units. They had mock-up units in the NBC Tower sales office for them, the Chicago Spire, and the design of the building looked like a drill bit or a birthday candle shape. 2,000 feet tall, 150 stories, all residential tower. Like I said, they pre-sold 30% of the units. I went and saw them. I got goosebumps looking at the design of the mock-up units. They were just thrilling. And it was going right here on your left where you see the banner, Case Foundation. That's a 2.2 acre lot. There's a big round hole in the ground there with 34 caissons that go about 120 feet down to bedrock here. Just ready and raring to support that 2,000-foot tower. And I hope it gets built. Santiago Calatrava, I call him a star-architect even, because he's also a sculptor. He does sculptures, and he's also a structural engineer and an architect. The whole shebang. Someday, it's getting new life in it. It was a dead deal for a few years. Now it's Related Midwest, I think, is reviving it. Lake Point Tower on your left is a 3-lobed cloverleaf-shaped building